Hecarim first ban. Lulu going to come through second. Energy, not going to see that one. Definitely a strong pickup here. Shyvana going to be taken off the board, and now it looks like we might have Rumble as being a bit of a contested pick.
Yeah, so Morgana also hits the bench here. So once again, Thresh available for Dumbledore.
Janna available as well.
Yeah, Janna's up there as well. Ari also available. We've seen that that's quite heavily contested. Gragas is another one. Once again, Theocles still has yet to be the super impressive jungle player. Missed a couple of crucial ultimates again in that game.
Yeah, not quite getting there. And Revolta also whiffing a couple on Gragas in the last game as well. But Janna is going to be the priority here for Dumbledore.
Yeah, so locking that one in pretty quickly there on the backside for Dumbledore. Doesn't give much away from the team comp. Keeps the AD carry relatively safe. So this game, Nardius will have at least one person peeling for him, and it's Thresh Maokai locked in.
Yeah, Thresh Maokai going to be taken away. That leaves the Ahri up, as well as the Gragas.
Yeah, so Gragas still available. Rumble could be the top lane pickup here. Does relatively well into Maokai.
Yeah.
Gives him a little bit more early game. You don't really want to run Rumble Janna just because they're kind of counterintuitive to each other.
Just a little bit.
But it definitely is something that we've shown, that Theldrin has shown that he can play. And otherwise, without the Maokai, without the Rumble, I don't know what else you'll really default back to.
Yeah, Nardius thinking about the Sivir here. Picks it away from Macau. Didn't work out for them in the last game, INTZ, but we'll see whether they've got a plan for it. A lot of movement speed already coming through from this lineup. Everyone very, very fast. Is Macau thinking about heading towards a late game hyper carry? And we were talking about INTZ. Maybe they need to have a little bit more power here. And Lee Sin, Revolta back on his power pick for the mid game. It saw some bans after his first performance. And we'll see whether he has a similar one this time. It's all on the line now, though.
Yeah, you can't really blame him either, coming through with the Lee Sin for the early game power, trying to just put Beşiktaş in a hole that they can't climb out of this time. A little bit of late game insurance coming through, though. Macau on the Janna, going to be able to... Janna. That is a jinx.
That is most definitely a jinx.
Going to be extremely safe and get a lot of damage done on the back end. And now, looks like Beşiktaş are the ones that have committed to more of an early game composition.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that they're hovering a Riven. Not sure whether that one's going to come through, but they do lock away Theldrin's Rumble, and they're going to try and burn down the tree in the top lane, and Theocles back on the Sejuani.
Yeah, so Sejuani is the priority pick here, trying to get some more lockdown to keep people in the equalizer. That is the only spell they have to be able to lock anyone anywhere near Theldrin's ultimate. And Tokka's in the mid lane, goes for the Zed. So an assassin versus assassin matchup in the mid lane. This is going to be fireworks, Atlas. And two very mixed compositions. A little bit of late game in both lineups.
Yeah, you've got Jinx, but you've also got Lee Sin on one lineup. And then you've got the Rumble and, you know, Sejuani coming through. So Sejuani great in the late game. Rumble, we saw Theldrin actually make it work out quite well, of course. It's more of a heavily mid-game comp by Beşiktaş, but definitely some segregation going on over on INTZ.
Yeah, definitely, and they just have maybe that insurance. Late game, you see that they have a very clear split pusher and no one to really match it on the Beşiktaş lineup. Who goes with Zed? There's not really an answer there.
Not really, unless Theldrin gets huge. Of course, does want to build his on his Hourglass fairly early, but haven't really seen a Rumble ever take down a Zed too easily.
Yeah, exactly right. And Zed should just win out in the auto attack trades. Also has the ability to be able to go the Hex Drinker there for some itemization early in the game. So we'll have to see exactly what the build that comes out of Tokka's is. But they've gone a little bit more late game, but the Lee Sin is what should get them going in the early game. And we've seen time and time again, if the jungler is able to accelerate the pace of these late game compositions, you can get them rolling earlier than you normally would see.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. And we saw Macau. I'm going to keep mentioning it, but he did manage to pick up a triple kill at 3.5 minutes in one of his games as well. So that's definitely something that can help them move in forward in this Jinx matchup. And INTZ, they showed that they do have late game compositions in their repertoire of what they can play, but just it hasn't been what their focus has been.
Yeah, exactly right. And we'll have to see whether this commitment towards the Jinx towards the Maokai in the top lane. Getting that tanky front line going is what will be what secures them the another game.
Yeah, well, exactly right. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to hop onto the Rift. It is Beşiktaş versus INTZ. The blue side, our Turkish team, up 2 games to the 1 of the Brazilian INTZ. They really want to find their way into this one. And we'll see whether they can do it, of course. With the Z having no arguable split-pushing combatant, might be looking better here for the Brazilians.
Yeah, it certainly looks like INTZ have put together a more sound game plan at least, but we'll have to see whether they are able to translate that into any form of the late game, because we've seen time and time again. As
Macau showed. They are going to be able to get some auto attacks off. Didn't commit.
They must have all skilled before they saw him, because otherwise, surely Dumbledore or Theocles would have taken the Q.
Yeah. Theocles, I don't know why there wasn't an Arctic Assault onto Macau, but they do get the deep vision down. Actually, Energy coming around finds Tockers. Orbit Deception not going to find him there, as the tree going to meet the Z, and Revolta does get the wards down as he passes Tholdren.
Yeah, so 2v2 lanes coming through here. Siva, Janna going to try and shove out early to be able to go with the Jinx Thresh lane. A very dangerous lane, Jinx Thresh. They're able to layer the CC, the Flame Chompers, so well with the Flay, as well as the Death Sentence to come through. It is extremely difficult to escape them early game.
But Nadius is at least going to have some pushing power, but we've spoken about Siva versus Jinx. Definitely works out for the Jinx in the early stages.
And we see 3 CS picked up by the Lee Sin player in the mid lane. That's the tiny Wraith camp there. He just chucked 2 saplings down. He gets a Q across sneakily over the wall. Able to get an early CS advantage for himself. Gives him a creep advantage for the level 2 to come through.
Yeah, as he does manage to pick that one up, you can see Living Shadow was skilled up as well, so he can get some more shurikens out. He's just going to do his best to try and clear out this wave. Ari going to have an inherent advantage just with that ranged auto attack. But Tokka's looking for some Qs, doesn't quite find him.
Yeah, so Tokka's going to be able to zone a little bit off this wave. Zed's an incredibly strong melee laner, just because of the fact that he can use that shadow to zone you off. As soon as he has a favorable trade, can dive on top of you. So it's very, very hard to push a Zed out as well. Continually just shurikens the lane. Ensures that it's pushing in his favor. So this is why I think that Zed actually inherently has an advantage over the Ahri in the lane.
Well, we'll see how it works out here. Of course, already has a massive CS advantage, putting a whole lot of pressure onto Energy, who's struggling to last hit in this lane.
Invade coming through from Lee Sin as well. Revolta was looking to see whether the blue buff was still available. Has been spotted out though.
Yeah, ward to come over the wall as Energy looking to try and keep picking up as much farm as he can. Tokka's though last hitting brilliantly well on the Zed so far. Meanwhile, you can see Macau able to get some cheeky auto attacks in, but very even on the farm here on the bottom side.
Revolta once again spotted out, going for some form of an invade early. Still hasn't been able to pick up the blue buff on the side Theocles, but Revolta, he's wasting a lot of time in his jungle as well, where we normally saw him gank it.
Yeah, there's the Descends landing on a double doge though. Oh, Flame Chomper's a little bit misplaced there as Macau doesn't manage to lock down the Janna.
Yeah, short arm the Flame Chompers there. That should have been the layering of CC that we're used to seeing out of Jinx Thresh. Maybe he was expecting the Flay to come through.
Potentially.
From Jockster, but wasn't willing to commit to it, and that means that in the end, Janna just walked away, and a little bit of a misplay there from INTZ's bottom lane.
Yeah, may have missed an opportunity to really get something down there, and could have zoned Siva away from a whole lot of experience potentially, as Nice Eye of the Storm going to keep Nadius a little bit more pleased. And he's got a CS advantage, although the wave's pushing.
Yeah, so the lane going pretty much as planned for both people. He's just trying to push out the wave Nadius early to make sure that he's not the recipient of too much harass. On the other side, Jinx really doesn't care until she gets the BF sword, then she'll intrinsically just win the lane, and Siva's never going to really be able to force her off creeps, especially with a Janna in the lane, who really is known for more neutralizing waves. Will help with the pushing power of Siva a lot, but really won't do much to stand up to the raw power that Jinx gets once she's able to pick up that BF sword.
Well, we'll see how it goes getting to that point, as Nadius able to pick up a cannon creep for himself. Energy taking some harassment here as Tokka's decent health bar here for this Zed, who might actually have some scaling health runes, and Ooh, Theocles was looking for something onto Yang there on the top side, but not going to get it.
Yeah, so he's just trying to farm out with the saplings, and you have to wonder, does Yang know he's up there, or is he just playing extremely cautiously? In the end, Theocles gives up on the gank, goes back, and maybe that's just some good sixth sense coming through from the top laner.
Yeah, Yang knew something was up. Didn't see him get spotted out there as energy very low on mana.
Once again, Revolta going for another invade. Check the brush before you go for it.
Yep, decided not to. He's just going
to They might be looking for a dive here.
Yeah, actually is going to get over there. Nice charm to land. Brilliant flashes. Revolta's tanking up this turret forever. Tokkers, he gets under there. The first blood goes down, but Theocles, the instant double kill for the Sejuani.
Yeah, so they get the first blood, but it went over onto the jungler, and in response, 2 kills over onto the late game jungle, and that is not what you want to do. Get a Sejuani rolling, because in a soul tank lineup, she needs the gold probably more than anyone, arguably, and now being able to grab a great head start.
Yeah, really nicely done. Both mid laners picked up level 6 off that exchange as well, and I mean, that is first blood going down, but that's only 1 assist to Tokkers. And after that, energy died, but he's now ahead.
Yeah, exactly right. So he was able to grab both of them. Has fallen behind slightly
behind
in
in
CS.
farm, yep.
So probably still in the Zed's favor. He's gone back and spent 1,600, 1,300 gold roughly, as Theocles now maybe looking for a dive. They're trying to shove the wave up, and he'll grab Gromp before it goes through. So we'll see exactly what he can do with this CS advantage. Not going to be able to shove. There's just not enough mana on Nardius there.
Yeah, needs to be able to spell shield himself something in order to get some mana back. See whether he can ask Thresh for a death sentence. Mikau, though, is going to be heading back to base. Actually gets it cancelled there. Nicely done by Dumbledoge. As now the CS going to be equalized here on this bottom lane. And in the top, just going to be farming it out. Pretty standard.
And the Sejuani has been able to keep up in CS with the Lee Sin as well. So Lee Sin not even really getting ahead in CS at this part of the game. Has gone for the Chilling Smite as well. So won't exactly struggle in the jungle. Lee Sin never does, but won't have the super quick clear that we do see at times coming through there. As he started up his second buff, we'll get level 6 off that one and be able to affect ganks a little bit better around the map.
Yeah, level 6 has been hit, though, by Theocles, who's now taking down the Krugs. He's going to head back to base and pick up a nice chunk of items. May actually have Cinderhawk on the first back.
Definitely have Cinderhawk, yep.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty good at 8 minutes for a jungler.
Yeah, it certainly is, even before the Warrior coming through. And as we said, Lee Sin should be the person that's trying to force the early pace of the game. He did, but just unsuccessful coming through there. You imagine if both lived on slithers of health, that was exactly what INTZ were looking for, but instead, right place at the right time, Rumble able to get in there. Rumble. Sejuani.
Well, we were watching the Rumble, so
He's 20 CS up, by the way. Fantastic laning coming through once again from Tholdren.
Yeah, and it's so hard last hitting on Rumble as well. I mean, it is. If you're not a Rumble player, it's very hard. So I'm going to give him props. Of course, once you are a Rumble player, it's actually fine. But I give him props.
So the only thing that they changed about Rumble's last thing that made it difficult was the Electro Harpoon not putting you in range to be able to last hit the creeps.
Yeah.
After that, it's really simple. You just turn on Flame Spitter, 2 ticks, turn your back on it, auto attack.
How
Done.
many? When does it tick, though?
When the damage appears above the creep.
Ah. Yeah, you see, I struggle with that, watching little numbers. Revolta is going to notice Theocles here. Level 5, though, still for this Lee Sin.
And zones away.
Yep.
The Zed as he comes over. Wow.
Yeah, Nardius in trouble in the bottom lane. Gets flashed on. Super Mega Death Rocket gets wandered out of as the exhaust comes through onto Mikau. Nardius, health pot is ticking. Dumbledore gets out of the way of the flay. How is this Beşiktaş lineup managing to navigate that situation? That looked awful, but they walk away okay.
Yeah, so they're able to get out of it in the end. They do lose the trade quite heavily, but no one dies, so hey, that's a pretty big win.
Yeah. Well, everything looked like it was going awfully.
It looked like they were going to get destroyed.
Yep, but they didn't. So kudos. My goodness. And they're able to now shove out the wave.
Yeah, so able to keep pushing up there. And this is the turning point we said. As soon as Jinx gets that level 6 as well as the Super Mega Death Rocket, going to look to go aggressive, but unfortunately not able to get the advantage through there. There's now Revolta trying to do some counter jungling. Energy does need to be careful that he doesn't get kicked out from underneath his turret. Blue buff will also fall over, but they have started up the dragon.
Yeah, and then they're just going to go in and steal away the blue buff, you have to think, as well.
Yeah, but potentially won't go over onto Ahri, which is a massive loss. Also very difficult to invade with such low health bars on Dumbledore. So probably a successful buff secure coming through for Revolta, but early dragon for blue buff definitely in favor of Beşiktaş.
Yeah, and look, Theocles trying to get something going on here in the mid lane. Nice shuriken.
But he used his shadow. Will they make him pay for that? He backs away. But generally, once Zed does that, there is a window where you can capitalize.
Yep, Theocles looking for something here as Energy's taking some pretty meaningful damage from these shurikens now, but that passive, man, just, you don't notice it, but it just does so much healing.
Yeah, you don't notice it until you play against her.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating. Thaldrun able to use that harpoon to great effect there as Yang's continuing to try and keep up.
They've caught out Energy here. He hasn't got the ultimate.
Oh, there's the death mark. He's going to flash out of the way, but Sonic Wave is going to get waited for. And Revolta gives the kill.
Yeah, so Zed picks up a kill. He's now 1-1-1, 20 CS. The lead for the mid lane assassin, and just a little bit of an overreach there. Why would you back out of vision when you can back underneath your turret? That's a little bit of a strange mark coming through. And Tokas, he might be made pay.
Yeah, actually, Tokas waited for that one. Managed to bait out. Oh, my goodness, the flash was timed perfectly by Theocles, but he might die. Shuriken comes through, and Tokas, that was the bait of the century.
Yeah, so Tokas able to bait out another kill, and all of a sudden they steal back the mid lane and all of the advantage on the map. And this is the scary thing. We said if Zed can start rolling, not very many champions on the enemy lineup can go with him. And he is well and truly ahead in this game.
He most certainly is. Thaldrun now has an advantage for himself there in the top lane, though. Almost 30 CS in the lead. Has the makings of his dragon fight items, the general ones that he picks up for all that magic penetration.
Not the making.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true.
Completed both of the Haunting guys and Sword Boots.
I like to think Leandri's. But I guess that's maybe getting a little bit overexcited. So yeah, picked them both up. So he's got a whole lot of mid-game damage. But is that going to be enough to deal with the Zed?
And straight away they put Zed in the split push. Throw him up into the top lane. Has nearly finished up the Blade of the Ruined King. Maokai going to be able to farm out perfectly fine. But he doesn't have any magic resist. So this is still slightly risky because Thaldrun does a heck of a lot of damage for himself.
Yeah, Thaldrun still might be able to get some work done here. Hasn't committed to any sort of, you know, magic resist or armor.
Revolta is just following Tokas around. He is like his shadow right now.
He already has one.
He has two.
Loads of them.
It's his third.
My goodness. It'd be hilarious if Revolta started having shurikens.
And the turret dive may be coming through.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Thaldrun trying to turn this one around now, but the death mark, that's going to pick up the kill, and Revolta was tanking up the turret nicely. And man, INTZ, they're just chasing each other around.
Yeah, they're just using this Lee Sin to completely dictate the pace of the game as we have a little bit of a skirmish coming through bottom lane.
Yep, Dumbledore's getting some auto attacks down there as Jockster is going to leave the lane. But somehow, Nadius has created a 20 CS advantage for himself.
Yeah, so Nadius is able to continue ahead, even though it is a little bit of a counter matchup coming through. They're just a pushing power too much as we see Theocles grabbing some CS for himself in the top lane. And there really needs to become an answer for this Zed now because he has all of a sudden a Blade of the Ruined King and is looking fearsome in every situation you could possibly imagine. Team fighting is probably ahead. Split pushing, there is no one that can currently go with him because Lee Sin is just following him everywhere. And this is a one-win condition we said that Beşiktaş didn't have an answer to. The split pushing Zed, and he's well and truly on his way.
Yeah, he's getting there. Heads back to the top lane. Arm guard completed now for Thaldrun, as he is able to deal with these shurikens just a little bit better than before. But he's still farming fantastically well. Nadius, however, on the bottom side of the map, able to farm up quite nicely at the same time. So he's got a similar CS
surprise.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, Revolta, welcome back. Yeah, Theocles going to have to get over that wall. Is actually their shadow going to hurt over there as well as Tokas gets them harassed down. And man, Revolta, just go home.
just continuing to camp out the lane. Obviously, he's picking one area. They are pinging that Ari is in this vicinity as well, now pinging her out. But I don't know. Do they think that they can fight it with 3 members?
It looks like they're willing to do something here as Tocca's baiting Tholdren out just a little bit. Wanting to hold on to this wave as much as possible. Theocles has gone back though, so it's only the Ari.
And they just dropped the equalizer on the wave. They do not anymore want to fight the Zed. Instead, deciding to go back to base, get a little bit of a reset, send Ari back into the jungle to pick up her blue buff. And this is a scary prospect because all of a sudden, Maokai in a lane where he was getting denied is now mid lane free farming because you're putting so much emphasis in trying to shut down a Zed and you cannot get on top of it.
Yeah, they just can't find it. And Revolta, he was camping out there, but he's still managed to go back, picks himself up some mobility boots, so he'll only be able to get back to that top lane even faster. And is now going to secure the blue buff. So we'll see whether, you know, Zed does head down and pick that one up. Of course, does really like it in order to get that energy back, the cooldown reduction as well. Quite handy.
Yeah, the one advantage they do have. They go in, actually.
Yeah, Jockster has to get out. Nice death sentence. That's going to be the whiff again coming through from Theocles. They are going to possibly steal away this blue buff with Zed in the top lane. That's a lot of the gold from INTZ. And they're not wanting to give anything, and Energy does pick that one up.
Yeah, so Energy able to grab a refresh. They also have advantage on the Dragon just because they have teleport. And in the top lane, Tocca's does not, so they'll be able to pick that one up, although he does grab a turret for himself. So objective traded here. Maybe they can rotate into the mid lane and pick something up, but it looks like it'll just be Dragon for turret. Probably in INTZ's favor, honestly, because they want to open up this map for their Zed.
Yeah, Beşiktaş, though, had a massive wave in the mid lane that was crashing against the turret, and they decided not to take that one down. Lots of vision now available for the Turkish team around this Dragon area, so they'll see when anyone's moving through that one. But, of course, no one going to be for the next 6 or so minutes as Yang going to keep clearing out this mid lane. And you're exactly right. The fact that Yang was behind is almost irrelevant now.
Yeah, it certainly is, because when you look at who is facing off against who, Yang is against the Ari, and pretty much equal in farm. In the top lane, 20 CS, 3 kills is the advantage currently for Zed, and he's going up against Tholdren. So Tholdren, even though he won his lane early, now since the lane swap has been put at a disadvantage, and the Zed's now finished up a Yomu's Ghostblade. Tocca's is all in on this mid game. You made a call for more mid game coming through from INTZ. Definitely has been heard.
Yeah. Well, they're seeing whether they can do it here. They do have a 2-kill advantage. 1,000 gold is now the lead for the Brazilians. But they've now got a clear way to continue winning the game past the early stages of it.
Yeah, exactly right. But the engage might have to come out of Tholdren here.
Yeah, Yang gets charmed up after the tower falls down. Yang's at half health as Revolta comes through. No Zed to be in this fight, and Equalizer doesn't really find it as a nice dark passage going to get the tree to safety. But they do take down the turret. Tocca's, though, is just going to tear through the inner in the top lane.
Yeah, but 2 turrets, even if Tocca's is able to pick up 1, is not a bad trade. He doesn't get it. So 2 turrets for nothing. A good call coming through from Beşiktaş, and they wrestle some semblance of control back.
Yeah, they pick up the gold lead as well. So INTZ, they realize now that all of their gold is on Tocca's.
Yeah, exactly right. Tocca's is the guy that they need to be able to win the early split push battle. Get him into the bottom lane probably now. Rotate your Jinx around the map and try and pick up some farm for her, potentially in the mid lane. But Tocca's needs to be there, split pushing in the turrets that he is able to take out.
Yeah, and Zhonya's hourglass completed by Energy, so he feels now that he can happily go up against the Zed.
Yeah, if that is the case, he is a very silly boy. Because Zed will just wait for him to come out of it and kill him anyway.
Well, look, I'm just saying, he's in the top lane, and he has a Zhonya's hourglass.
Certainly does. The rest of the team comes up for support, so it is actually Beşiktaş that rotate their top laner into the bottom lane, but he's getting dove.
Yeah, meanwhile, Revolta just Sonic Waves Tholdren, and they're going to be able to take down this turret as well. Tholdren just found himself a little bit caught out, and Macau did a lot of damage. But top lane turret does fall down. Beşiktaş still with an advantage. Teleport in. Tokka's looking for the death markers. Dumbledore is able to get around. Nice exhaust. Means that Tokka's has to escape, and Dumbledore, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, Dumbledore is able to survive. They use a couple of flashes. Bottom lane still going.
Oh, there's the death sentence onto Energy. He has the ultimate. Will be able to get out of there. Doesn't use it. The next charge, at least, as Yang's getting taken down low. Theocles, he gets the shutdown onto Tokka's. Somehow.
And action everywhere. They're able to push in now on their tier 2 in top. Teleport coming in somewhere for Thaldron. He goes top lane for no reason at all, but they pick up another turret.
Yeah, he was just holding on to the creep wave.
There was like 8 creeps left.
Yeah, no, I just said that's what he did. I don't know why. He still did it, though. And Beşiktaş now find themselves with a dragon lead, 2 dragons to nothing, and 2,000 gold. And 4 turrets to 2, and that's huge because they now have the map control.
Yeah, exactly right. And all their gold is sitting on their jungler. 7,600
That's
gold.
Fine,
the
though.
richest member on the lineup currently is Theocles. And if he hits his ultimates, definitely is fired.
Okay. That's true, but hang on. Arctic Assault does some damage, and if you think about it, Northern Winds does it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Nailed it. You're good. Forgotten that one. Look at me. I'm terrible. Northern Wind, such an impactful spell in the middle of a team fight.
It is. Does so much damage.
Yeah, it's the kind of spell that you talk about afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can
it's
accept
just not
that.
Flashy enough, you know. She's swinging a flail.
Ah, so you like Bristle's abilities.
Yeah.
Whilst I like Sejuani's.
It's a perfect way of putting it, Spawn. Perfect. But in the end, it is going to be Macau picking up, a little bit more farm for himself than he had before. He's only at a 15 CS deficit, whereas Nadius a little bit further ahead, almost has the Phantom Dancer as Energy. He would actually convince Tokka's to leave. I find it, I don't know, feel like, there's on his hourglass. Enough to get him to get out of the lane.
Yeah, so what is actually making him leave is the fact that there is 0 ward coverage on the bottom side of the map. And if he continues to split push down there, as Sejuani's been caught out.
Yeah, Theocles actually has to use the Arctic Assault to get out. Nice death sentence from Jockster, and Theocles, he's tanky. Does get the ultimate out of Nadius in order to survive, though.
Yeah, so in the end, Tokka's able to pick up his blue buff as well. No ults expended, really apart from Nadius's, and everyone will successfully disengage. That took a lot of killing so far already for the Sejuani.
Yeah, Theocles was sort of bounced about in that fight as well, as skill shots are going to go wide. Thaldron not going to eat any of those, as Nadius just concentrating on farming out these minion waves over and over again. Nice harpoons from Thaldron, just going to net himself some damage onto the tree, and then tries to burn it down.
A lot of damage onto the tree.
Wow, half of his health. Nadius not even going to get hit.
This will be the 3rd dragon of the game picked up. They're actually racing towards Baron here on the side of INTZ. But you have to think that would be a very dangerous call.
Yeah, it's only been alive for 3 minutes. The old Baron. Give him some time. At least let him make his bed or something like that, like brush his teeth.
Yep. Teeth at 3 minutes old?
Well, come on, it's accelerated. Baron only lives for about, 20 minutes?
Oh, I like it. Yep, I'll accept that. Yeah. Good answer.
Yeah.
You win this round.
We'll see how we go moving forward. Beşiktaş, though, they are going to take down their 3rd dragon of the game.
So that becomes a real win condition right now. 35 minutes. They'll have a 5th dragon if things continue to go this way. And that is extremely early into a game to be running around with a rumble with 5 dragons.
And a rumble with 5 dragons is a lot of fire, ladies and gentlemen. An incredibly large amount of fire. And think about the consistent DPS for this Sejuani.
Exactly right. Just going to be up there. Northern Winds as well as 5 dragons. Throw a Cinderhulk in there. Just going to be doing lots of hot and cold stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be some hot and cold going on. I wanted to make a comment, but I just can't find the reference in my brain at the moment.
I was going to start singing a Katy Perry song.
Oh, my God.
Could have been worse.
I really hope that that wasn't what I was about to think about, too, because that could have been even worse. It's Dumbledore trying to hold off this mid lane push.
And actually, the Zed's starting to fall a little bit, I guess, not fall behind, but equalize at least. The CS advantage that was starting to grow there is being normalized a lot by Energy, who has been able to sweep in and pick up a lot of these farm. And It's just because the ward coverage of INTZ hasn't been good enough. Finally, Revolta trying to get it down, and they are going for the flank, so this could be the engage.
Yeah, and they can see, teleport actually into the backside as well as Nadia's beautiful spell shield is able to get away from all the shurikens as well. Deathmark does nothing. Dumbledore with a hero play in the backline as Yang looking to stick onto Nadia's super mega death rocket though. The double kill from Macau as they end up winning the fight. But man, Nadia's played his heart out in that one.
Yeah, Nadia's played his heart out and Dumbledore cost them the team fight. He got outright caught in the middle of the lane after his entire team had successfully disengaged, and that's going to cost them a turret, maybe more.
Yeah, they throw down the zap. Energy gets caught up on that one. They need to try and clear out these waves as Theocles actually looking for something here. Orbit Deception going to be up off cooldown relatively soon, and they are able to stop this inner turret from falling down. But Beşiktaş, man, that was close to a horrible situation, but almost worked out.
Yeah, so they were able to get away from the main engage, but unfortunately not able to get anything done after the fact. So the gold lead once again going across to INTZ. This Jinx with the Infinity Edge Static Shiv, now with a couple of kills as well, will be able to go back, pick herself up the makings of a Last Whisper, you would have to think. And the later this game goes, all of a sudden, the more in favor of Jinx it is, who is the hyper-scaling carry on the INTZ lineup.
And they don't have a whole lot of options as far as getting on top of the Jinx is concerned as well. I mean,
well,
they don't have the
perfect
Heckrooms
synergy
anymore
between Jana and the Equalizer right there, because the Equalizer would have been across 4 members, and all of a sudden Jana made none of them stand there.
Yeah. A little bit unfortunate. Look, Dumbledore, they'll have some stern words, and then he'll be able to not do that ever again, and it'll be fine. 4 turrets to 3, though. Beşiktaş still with the map control in that
death
department.
rocket whirling down the mid lane.
Yeah, Nadia's was very low. Something happened, ladies and gentlemen, as they're backing on top of about 15 different wards. Wow, that was cute. Is Revolta going to safeguard to the Dark Passage? Jockster gets his lantern back and everything's going to be fine. But everyone sort of over their own side of the map. A huge creep wave in the bottom lane that Macau is going to eat up, and the rest of Beşiktaş are going to now be heading back up the lane. And Leandri's Torment and the Zhonya's Hourglass completed by Tholdren, so that is big news for the top laner of Beşiktaş.
Yeah, he's definitely in a good position this game. 0-2-0, not the best scoreline, but has been able to pick up a lot of farm on the Rumble, so he's in a good position. You see 261 CS for the AD carry as well. Nardius, he's looking for his Bloodthirster. Probably needs a Last Whisper to be able to deal with this Maokai, who you feel will be all up in his face for the entirety of this game. But a lot of the pressure now on Theocles. He grabbed the early kills. He has his Warmogs, is extremely tanky, needs to be that huge frontliner for his team and be able to get things done. As we actually have Dumbledore clearing out a ward, but Tokas is relatively close. Needs to be careful he doesn't get collapsed on. But Dragon number 4 is available. So that's all they're going for, Atlas. Ward control over the Dragon area, recognizing that as their win condition and trying to ensure that they're able to pick this one up.
Yeah, and they're looking to make sure that they can get the Equalizer in the perfect choke point as well, because INTZ, I mean, it's going to be very hard for them to get to the right spot without walking through exactly the place where Rumble wants to start a fight.
Yeah, exactly right. But do they just pull them across to Baron one more time, see whether Revolta can sweep this one out? And if he can, it means that they can't really start up the Dragon, because the Baron damage out of a 3-item Jinx, who has now finished up the Last Whisper, not to mention Zed, is just so huge at this part of the game.
Yeah, it's despicable amounts of damage. 2,000 gold, though, is just the lead here for INTZ. This game's still very, very close, but you're exactly right. A lot of the money on the Jinx, a lot of the money on the Zed, and these are the champions that you really need the money on. And on the other side, Beşiktaş, they've got 3 kills out of 3 on Theocles.
Yeah, exactly right. So Bristle needs to do some heavy lifting this team fight and get in there and really be the initiator and tank that his team needs. Set up the Sivir to be able to get that Ricochet and Boomerang Blade across everyone. As a nice ward there, really has got clear vision of exactly where Beşiktaş is, especially if they start up the Dragon. But Energy, he's got the Luden's Echo, so he's in a good place. 2 seconds. They're going to be able to pick this one up for free. There's no way that INTZ get there in time.
Yeah, they're doing a whole lot of damage to this dragon. It's down to about half health.
No, they do. They
Revolta
don't
has
do it
made
very
his way
quick.
around. Yang looking for it as well as he actually engages onto Theocles of all people, but he's getting chunked down. Equalizer on top of Macau. The tree's burning as well. Tholdren picks up the kill into Yang as Energy uses the Zhonya's death sentence. Timed a little bit too late there, as the dragon did indeed fall down to Beşiktaş. No, it didn't actually. Fourth is still available as nice Monsoon from Dumbledore as Nadius uses the spell shield. Macau
and now
super
is
low.
so out of position.
This is ridiculous. There's the boomerang. Jockster, he gets the flash. Oh my goodness, they are going to have the death mark picking up the kill, but Tokas trades his life for it. It's a 2-for-1. But I'm not sure whether Nadius needed to die there. Revolta getting burnt there a little bit by Tholdren.
Yeah, they just
as
go back.
Macau is backing in an interesting spot. Isn't going to be spotted out.
Will they pick up the dragon? The dragon is more important than the turret this time around.
Oh
Whoa.
my goodness, that knockup was massive as Dumbledore, he's going to die as well. And Revolta, you just almost won the game for your team.
Yeah, they're going to get Baron off it at the least. Theocles needs to grab home guards and get to that objective, but I don't know whether he'll be there in time.
What was Beşiktaş thinking, though, with that one? They split up their teammates.
They had the fourth dragon. All they had to do was turn around and take out that objective. Instead, they lose the team fight, and they're going to give up the Baron.
Yeah, and Yang is able to tank this one up for days as well. No vision available as Revolta. He's getting taken down low. Theocles may be able to find his way in. Doesn't have flash. Can he get in range of the smite as Baron's doing some work here? The rampage comes through. Revolta actually forced to flash away from that one. There's the equalizer. Tholdren picks up the kill and the Baron. A triple kill for Tholdren as Yang is burning down as well. This game is out of control.
Tholdren, just back away. What are you doing? There is a Zed there.
Has he used the Zhonyas in order to get out of the deathmark damage? There's the Monsoon as Tholdren trying to heal himself up. Yang, he was burning down. Tokas can't pick up the kill. Guys, please go back to base. I just can't do this anymore.
What a team fight coming through. Atlas Tholdren with the hero play on the back end. Finally, that sentence actually makes sense. He got the triple kill. He picked up Baron. What the heck is going on?
I am entirely unaware. I was waiting for you to explain, because that was a very weird passage of play.
And
but
they're
in the
starting
end, what
up the
happened?
dragon again, and they won't get it again. They need to back away here. Scuttlecrab is having a heart attack, the poor dear.
Yep, Theocles does make his way over the side, though, as Dumbledore is going to empowered recall his way home.
Oh, so they get it. The fourth dragon is picked up.
And Baron.
The Baron is over on, I think, 3 members?
Maybe. Theocles doesn't have it. No, that much.
Theocles, as well as Nadius, doesn't have it. I think Tholdren, Dumbledore, as well as Energy do. But all of a sudden, that went from all kinds of good to all kinds of bad to all kinds of good.
Again.
For the Turkish lineup really quickly.
Exactly. And Nadius now, as the dust settles, has picked himself up a pickaxe and a... Oh my goodness, Toka's actually going aggressive here as Tholdren does use the equalizer. Beautiful positioning. Decides he wants to burn down Revolta now as well. Uses a safeguard. Nadius is going to be able to take down this inner turret as Toka's at about half health. Yang backing. The mega tank is in the bottom lane for some odd reason. Super Mega Death Rocket just to soften him up, but
they need to back away. This is all low health bars coming through. Beşiktaş might be in some trouble. They get it though.
Yeah, and the Baroned up minions are going to stop the assault, and INTZ just give up the fight.
So a completely equal gold lead at 33 minutes in the game. And once again, Beşiktaş's shot calling, although extremely odd, has come up trumps.
Yeah, I don't know what that... there's an analogy there, but I can't really see it. Can't really find it at the moment, but Beşiktaş definitely been managing to find something here that's been working out. They're now 6 turrets to 3 and 4 dragons to 0. 5th dragon is going to be up in 4 minutes or something like that, and INTZ will not then be able to fight them at all.
Yeah, exactly right, and they have the super creeps in the mid lane to worry about all the while. If they shove that one up, Beşiktaş, they'll have clear vision of exactly where they'll approach from, either through the jungle, through wards, or the super creeps in mid lane, automatically pushing that wave up. And now you think, INTZ, they lost their advantage that they picked up with that Zed. all of a sudden, Rumble doing very meaningful damage in these team fights, and they need another miracle kick. The only reason they won that team fight was because Revolta kicked someone through 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, that was incredible.
It was a really good Lee Sin kick.
They were all also at about 200 health, I think, at that stage as well. Living Shadow going to be looked for here. Theocles probably wouldn't have taken any damage from it anyway, so it doesn't need to feel too bad about whiffing that one. 200 gold the lead for Beşiktaş, as they're looking to close out this whole series with this. This is how important this victory is. And Revolta, he actually gets bumped into there by Theocles after the ward goes
Baron
down.
has run out, though. An incredibly short-range team comp coming through. They're able to get a couple of shots down. They can't stick around for too much longer. Nardius.
Whoa! They just give up the turret.
Yeah, well, they have to look at the middle lane where the super creeps are streaming into their base.
Yeah, and they are able to take it down. The top wave is on the inhibitor turret as Theocles actually tanking this one up. Inner turret is actually going to survive the onslaught of the minions.
Yeah, has the Warmog, so very good regen coming through for Theocles, and they're trying to zone away from the turret and get as much down. Wow!
Yeah, there's Revolta looking for a kickback, but doesn't find it. Yang then takes a turn, and look at that equalizer across 4 members. Macau can't do anything. Yang, he's super low. Sejuani picks up the kill on the jungler. Tokas is able to escape in the backline as the double kill comes through. Macau, he's going to die after a wonderful charm, and the ace for 1 for the Turkish lineup. They're going to win the game.
Yeah, they certainly look like they are, Atlas, and wow, the flash forward from Nardius, just trying to get as much damage down as possible.
That did it, though.
Secured the team fight for them, and that was an equalizer to end all equalizers.
Thaldrun is MVP of this whole series. That was so beautiful to watch. Congratulations, Beşiktaş heading to MSI. And I don't know, after that first game, it looked like the Brazilians were really going to be able to take it to our Turkish team, but take it to any semblance of a late game, and the Turks come up in front.
Yeah, they just look like they have fantastic shot calling. Their decision making every single time came out ahead, no matter whether it was a randomly push mid lane, die, and then kill them at Baron call. They seem to have it all.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they just knew what INTZ wanted to do, and they just played it a few steps ahead, but it was beautiful to watch and a deserved victory as well. And this is a story of a team that was 3-3 coming out of groups. They were the 4th seed, and they came through 3-1 now in the grand final after a 3-0 sweep against the Bangkok Titans. Man, Beşiktaş looked great heading into MSI.
Yeah, they certainly did, and they did it in the exact way that you would expect a champion team to. They got to the head-to-head. They had beaten the Oceanic team, very deserving of their spot.
Yeah.
They knocked out the team that looked like they were the best throughout the group stage. Bangkok Titans only dropped 1 game, and then INTZ, the team that everyone had pegged as being the best wildcard region team, fell down to this Turkish lineup, and wow, behind the home crowd, that was one hell of a series.
Yeah, super deserved series. And you saw there Thaldrun, he was in the middle of the screen, and that man was absolutely fantastic in that match. And look at them looking out over that gigantic stadium. It must feel fantastic.
Yeah, it certainly would. They even had the sick player in between games. You saw them leaving the stage. Odds were against them. They didn't feel great, but you see them shoving the captain out the front.
Yeah, there he is. That is Thaldrun, and congratulations. I don't know what he's doing.
He's celebrating, at least. That man just won his team a tournament, and very deserved, being sent out in front of the screaming crowd.
Absolutely fantastic work by this Turkish lineup, and oh my goodness. They just must be feeling absolutely ecstatic. Look at these guys. They're going completely nuts in the crowd. And Thaldrun as well. We're just having a brief look at the damage done in that game. Thaldrun had double on his team, more than anyone else in the game. Yeah. Absolutely incredible performance.
He came up absolutely massive, but we will see the Turkish lineup. Beşiktaş being able to raise the International Wildcard Invitational Trophy.
And so well deserved as well. Congratulations, Beşiktaş. our team heading over to MSI to represent Turkey. And look, all the power to them heading through there as well.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be going up against Team Solo Mid, Fnatic, AHQ coming out of the Taiwan region. Not to mention the LPL finalists coming through tomorrow and LCK as well.
Yeah.
There's some heck of a competition there, but they have proved out of everyone in this tournament, they are the team that will probably do the best and be able to take it to them.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. This is the team that's most deserving of this spot heading into MSI, and it's going to be frightening. They'll be against the likes of, from the LPL, which the grand final is going to be tomorrow. EDG taking on LGD. Both of these teams looking utterly terrifying for anyone. And then you've got SKT or the GE Tigers coming over from Korea as well. There are massive teams in MSI. This is going to be the best experience that this Turkish lineup could ever have if they're unable to even win. Like, they don't even necessarily need to be going over there in order to take a victory. The experience would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and they've been talking about it every single time we see them. It's about getting better as a unit, the experience they can get as a team. And this is just one more tournament where they can do it.
And this is the Beşiktaş lineup as well. I mean, this is a sporting organization that's actually invested into esports as well. It's fantastic that now getting some international representation.
Yeah, definitely coming through. They're doing their whole country proud, and honestly doing the wildcard regions proud.
Oh, yeah.
Their shot calling in the late game and their ability to prioritize target, not to mention that sick equalizer, just show how much these regions are improving. And you can see the crowd still going wild out there.
Yeah,
that must be a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, it must be incredible, and they deserve it as well. Theocles had a great performance on the Sejuani. Everyone on this team has had their moments of glory throughout this series. So deserving, beautifully well played. And congratulations to Beşiktaş, really.
Yeah, definitely. You see they raise the flag one more time. Standing there to get their photo taken, the confetti's everywhere.
Oh, it's incredible. And look, I'm more than happy to stand around there. You want that moment to last for as long as possible as they head forward to get their photos taken as well. And Thorndren, he's got a grin you cannot remove from his face.
Yeah, and definitely. I don't think you'll be able to wipe that off for quite some time. Even Nadius, the AD carry that just got camped throughout the entirety of the last series, played beautifully coming up against the Southeast Asian region. And to only drop one game in 2 finals, is absolutely mammoth for these guys.
Yeah, when they dropped half of their games in the group stage.
Yeah, exactly right. More, when you compare it to how many games they've played,
and if you think about
9-4 now.
Yeah, so it's not even that. Yeah, that's incredible. After being, 3-3, it's ridiculous. But they also dropped their first 2 games against Brazil, and then came back 3-0.
Yeah, exactly.
So theoretically,
right.
it's like they did the reverse
able
sweep.
to get their revenge as well, Alex.
Yeah,
you saw how much it meant coming through on home turf, being able to beat the Brazilian lineup this time around.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, and it was very, very difficult for them getting through. But look, you can see everyone on their feet, all so excited to see Turkey making their way to MSI. It's only a couple of weeks and they're going to be there.
Yeah, exactly right. They need to get prepared extremely quickly if they are going to take.
Yep, just absolutely beautiful coming from Beşiktaş, and congratulations to them. They're through to MSI. It's going to be incredible. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it from us on the desk. Congratulations to Turkey. Hopefully they represent all of the wildcard regions super well. But on behalf of myself, Spawn, our whole production team, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for the LPL Grand Final.